Hey guys, so this week's project is one I've been meaning to do for a while now, but I kept making way for other ideas. There are always more ideas and so many things to do, and not enough time, right? Well, anyway, just in case you didn't see the thumbnail or read the description before clicking on this video, today I'll be working on a Highland cow inspired amigurumi. Wait, does that make it a cow-gurumi? Anyway, let's get into it. When it comes to the yarn, I'll be using mostly solid brown and burnt-ish or gingery brown, along with some yellow and green. I will of course add a list of everything that I use in the description box below as always. I began with making some shoes for her, which I did mostly off camera, and as you know, I usually do this because it just shaves so much time off the video and makes the videos shorter. I thought green boots, but then I decided to change them into shoes instead, would be totally appropriate. How else can you hide a cow in a field? No wait, that's how you hide them in apple trees. You paint their toes red. Okay, so it's not quite the same thing, but you get what I mean. Here I just added some sparkly gems to the side of the shoes for some extra detail and cuteness, and of course the sparkles. I love these shoes so much. But anyway, let's move on to the legs. I crocheted some legs, again off camera here, and you know, you've seen me do this before, and again it's to save some time on the video. I went with a dark chocolate brown for the part that would be the hooves, and then I switched to the orange cinnamon brown, it's a cinnamony brown, for the body colour. I stuck to this colour for a while until I had to switch it out for the skirt. So let's come back when I'm at that point. Here I switched to the yellow for the skirt. I decided to put her in a dress, you know, walking in a field of grass core. Sorry, that just seems really funny to me. Anyway, I left some front loops at the waist area, and then I just went ahead and crocheted the skirt down to a length I think looks good. And then I fastened off and weaved in the ends. I also added a green belt to the waist and made a bow to attach to the back of the dress, just to give it a little accent. After I finished with the bottom half of the dress, I continued on up with the yellow until I had to crochet in the arms. Now here I made the arms with hooves at the ends, or rather I made them look hoof-like. I then crocheted in the arms. I also then added a collar and a tie around the neck using the green yarn. To complete the head, I carried on and made sure to install the eyes before closing off and weaving in the ends. And here she is in all her unfinished glory. Ah, so cute, so far. At this point, I realized she needed more, so, you know, a cowbell. So I added one to her neck for some interest. Okay, time to start on the snout. I crocheted the snout using the slightly darker brown. I began by creating an oval shape and then added rounds until it was suitably snout-like. I also crocheted some horns and ears. But for the ears, I will be folding the bottom of them before sewing them onto the amigurumi. Okay, so there's often a point in a project where I need to tell myself to trust the process, and this was one of them. And I think I'd reached a point when I was here. She was looking to me more like a pig or a horse, and I couldn't quite get the image out of my mind. I even tried changing the colour, but it really didn't make a difference. But I carried on with it and sewed in the nostrils with the chocolate brown, and that certainly helped, but I still wasn't convinced. I still had to sew everything else on before I'd really know if it worked out. So we'll come back to this later on. I'm still not convinced, but you know what? Trust the process. Just trust the process. Okay, because Highland cows are famously known for their epic windswept hair covering their eyes, I absolutely had to make this happen. I started by making the wig cap, although I'm sorry to say I've lost the footage for this section. I have no idea where it went. Obviously the SD card gods were not on my side this time. Maybe it got swept away by some epic wind. I don't know. Anyway, when it came to editing, the footage was mysteriously gone. So let's carry on. I finished the wig cap and proceeded to sew it onto the amigurumi along with the horns and ears. I mean, I did this off camera because it was fiddly and trying to keep everything together was just not working with me. So I had to pull the amigurumi up close so that I could work with it, and doing it away from me on camera was just not going to work. And now I got the chance to see if all my efforts had come to fruition. And oh my God, she's so cute. And her hair is just mwah, chef's kiss. So yes, trust the process and the process shall give. Yay! As an extra accessory, I decided to make her a hat. I made it with the green yarn and added a yellow ribbon to contrast it with the dress. See what I did there? Well, I hope it works out, but anyway, I wanted to mainly keep the green and the yellow colour, and obviously those are the colours synonymous with spring in the fields and cows grazing. Well, they graze every year, but you know what I mean. I also added a little bag for her as well, which I've included as an academy tutorial. So if you haven't seen that, please look at that video later on in your own time. I will have a link to the video in the description box below or in the iCard as well. So please check that out. Thank you very much. Anyway, while you watch me finish off the hat and before we get to the final reveal, I'd just like to say thank you for watching, and of course if you'd like to see more, then please like, share, comment and even consider subscribing. If you are feeling generous, then also please consider buying me a cup of coffee on Ko-fi. The link to my Ko-fi page will be included in the description box below, and any and all donations will be greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to hit that bell button to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, enjoy these moveless beauty shots. I can't believe I said that. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!